In the infamous words of Siobhan Nolan, if I don't write the teaser, we can't start the show. And if we can't start the show, this won't be our final episode of SportsLine. And then I wouldn't have to cry. I would absolutely love to hit you with one of the many funny teasers I've blessed you with this season, but sadly, I don't think it's possible. Hello, I'm Meghan Cooney.
And I'm Charlie Hug. Yes, this is sad. Maybe I'll even get emotional. But hey, you gotta look on the bright side. And for me, all I can think about is the fact that I can finally get this shirt back. Or maybe they'll frame it and hang it up in the studio. I don't know. I'll let the guys in the control room figure that one out. But for the last time this season, you're watching LaSalle TV's home for Explorer Athletics, SportsLine.
Welcome to SportsLine. It's the official last episode of the season, so who's ready to get emotional? Don't worry, we still have all of your recaps from this past week.
And later, our fellow producer Ange sits down to talk to us about our time here on the show.
But first, let's take a look at our SportsLine top 3.
Number 1, LaSalle men's basketball guard Jamir Brickus has been named to the first team All-Big Five. Brickus started all 33 games for the Explorers, putting himself in the top ranks of the Big Five, averaging 36.4 minutes per game, 13.9 points, and 4.8 assists. He also set a new Big Five single-game scoring record when he dropped 41 points in a matchup against Temple earlier this year.
Number 2, Khalil Brantley has been named to the second team All-Big Five. Brantley, who was named to the Big Five first team last season, earned his second team nod after averaging 15 points per game and 5.3 rebounds per game after starting all but one game in the 2024 season. He came in second only to Jamir Brickus after playing 35.9 minutes per game and scored his 1,000th career point on January 31st against Rhode Island.
And number 3, Claudia Steinmetz has been named this week's NovaCare Student Athlete of the Week. Steinmetz scored a career-high 5 goals, including the game-tying and game-winning goals in the Explorers' 13-12 win over George Washington on Saturday.
All right, Charlie, this is it.
Yeah. But what would our last SportsLine show be without talking about the Killer Bees one last time?
It's only fitting. So both of them getting named the first team All-Big Five. This is Brantley's second nod to that, so that's just absolutely incredible. Like you said, it really wouldn't be a SportsLine show if we didn't talk about these two. It seems to be the only words that have been coming out of my mouth this entire season have been Jamir Brickus and Khalil Brantley. So hats off to them. They both played amazing this season, and yeah.
Yeah, certainly, some of the bigger names in LaSalle sports this year, in the past couple of years. They've put on great performances, earned their nods for sure. Awesome to see Brickus on the first team. Unfortunately, they're both looking to go their separate ways, but we got to be happy that we had their time with them while we did. So.
Yeah, and I mean, shout out to NovaCare student athlete Claudia Steinmetz. I know lacrosse wrapped up their season, but she's been absolutely killing it this year. So congrats to her.
Yeah, it's been a long season, but yeah, she's been one of their more consistent players. So it's cool that she's finally getting the recognition that she deserves.
And that's it for the top 3. Now let's see how our teams did in this week's recaps. Water polo traveled to Poughkeepsie, New York to compete in the MAC quarterfinals this past Friday. They were first up against Iona. The teams traded goals in the first quarter, with Iona scoring first before Martina Bonet-Saez would come back with an opening goal for LaSalle. Iona returned a goal of their own before Sofia Koleval tied things up once again. The beginning of the second quarter was scoreless in the first 2 minutes until Iona scored a goal, regaining the lead. It wasn't until Koleval scored back-to-back goals, sandwiching one of Iona's, that the Explorers were able to tie up the game again 4-4. Iona would add 2 more goals to gain the lead again, 6-4. Iona and LaSalle would continue to swap goals throughout the game, with goals from Francesca Coe, Tatum Lomax, Bonet-Saez, and Hannah Warren to try to win back the lead, but it wasn't enough, and LaSalle fell 12-9, ending a strong season for the Explorers.
The LaSalle track and field team competed at one of the top meets in collegiate track at the Penn Relays on Thursday and Friday. Tiango Mbambo set a personal best and recorded the 3rd fastest time in program history in the 5K, which was 13 minutes and 59 seconds. This time placed Mbambo 8th in a field of 70 runners, respectively. Arthur Costin also put forth a strong effort, finishing 29th overall and coming up just short of his personal best. His time is 8th in program history in the event. Moving on to the women's 4x100 team of Lanice Green, Soleil Morrison, Maya Primus, and Nevaeh Davis clocked a time of 47.71 seconds, which placed the team 16th overall.
The men's golf team wrapped up their season at the A10 Championships this past weekend. The Explorers sat in 8th place after day 1, led by Ben Batty's 74 on the day. Day 2 proved to be the best day of the tournament for the Explorers, as they would move themselves to 7th place with an 18 over par for the team. The day was highlighted by Nikita Romanov's performance on the 17th hole as he hit a hole-in-one on the 161-yard par 3, the only ace of the whole tournament. This helped bring his score down to +2 over the 2 days and set him at 11th place. They had another great day on day 3, shooting a -7 as a team, with Kevin Lyden shooting a -5 on the day overall. The Explorers would end their season in 9th place, shooting a total of 903 over the tournament.
Men's rowing competed in the Bergen Cup on Saturday. The varsity 4-boat was the first race of the day, gaining an early lead and maintaining that lead throughout, which led to a win, beating out both Drexel and Temple. The second varsity 8-boat also had a stellar performance, beating out multiple Philly schools such as St. Joe's, number 20 ranked Temple, and number 17 Drexel. The boat beat St. Joe's by a whole 7 seconds to secure the gold. Finally, the varsity 8-boat was looking for its 3rd straight win but came up short. The Explorers unfortunately suffer a slow start that they could not come back from, and they would lose to Drexel for the first time this season while still scoring 2nd respectively. Now on to the women. They participated in the Kelly Cup Regatta, also on Saturday. It was a day of 3rd place finishes for the women, as their junior varsity 4-boat, who is fresh on the water due to several injuries, would place 3rd behind Temple and Drexel with a time of 8 minutes and 59.2 seconds. The second varsity 8-boat would see a repeat of last weekend, beating St. Joe's but coming up short behind Drexel and Temple. Finally, the varsity 8-boat would also see a 3rd place finish, with Temple coming in 1st and just being 2 seconds behind St. Joe's.
Women's lacrosse ended their season with an exciting match against George Washington on Saturday. LaSalle started early with a goal from senior Claudia Steinmetz just a minute into the game. The Revolutionaries got in 2, but sophomore Sam Clean answered back, tying it up. Senior Mackenzie Click also scored with 8 minutes left in the half. Steinmetz scored yet again, ending the first quarter 4-2 LaSalle. George Washington took control in the second half. The Revolutionaries scored again and again, putting them up 6-4. In the last few minutes of the half, Steinmetz put in her 3rd goal, putting the Explorers within 1 goal at halftime. The whole second half was back and forth. Katie Johnson scored her 1st goal in the start of the 3rd. Click also scored to tie up the game. George Washington answered back, putting them 8-7 with just 16 seconds remaining in the 3rd. Johnson tied it up with her 2nd goal of the day. The Revolutionaries answered back in the 4th with 2 more goals. Johnson then scored her 3rd goal of the day to bring the Explorers within 1 goal. George Washington added another, with Click answering back with a goal. The Revolutionaries scored once more, but the rest of the game was all LaSalle. Johnson and Steinmetz scored 3 goals combined in the final 5 minutes of the game, with 1 for Johnson and 2 for Steinmetz, leaving her with 5 goals in this game. The Revolutionaries tried to come back, but Mary Babbage made the save to get the win. The game ended in a 13-12 win for the Explorers and a great end to the season. That is lacrosse. I'm so happy that occurred.
Yeah.
I have been so upset for these girls all season because they have put in the work, they have put in the effort, and we have said it time and time again that it is strictly just coaching and different smaller issues within the team, and that the talent is there, and for them to close out their season with that sort of a win is phenomenal for them.
No, I was able to watch the game, and you could just tell that they simply wanted it more, especially down the stretch when they knew the game was close and still in reach. They just did everything they could to win. Again, Claudia Steinmetz scoring the game-tying goal and the game-winning goal with a couple minutes left, and then Mary Babbage with a huge save at the end. What a great way to end their season, especially on a rough one like they had.
So kudos to them. And we're going to take a quick break, but when we come back, Ange takes the reins and interviews me and Charlie about our time at SportsLine. You won't want to miss it.
Run!
As birthplace to the first volunteer fire companies, Philadelphia is home to one of the nation's premier fire museums. Fireman's Hall Museum displays the city's fire history in addition to promoting fire safety. You can visit Fireman's Hall Museum in Old City at 147 North 2nd Street. Visit firemanshallmuseum.org to learn more, or watch the museum's show, Curator's Corner, on LaSalle TV.
Everyone has a community, a neighborhood, school, kids' teams, where you worship, work out, or any other place or group where you choose to belong. Communities can provide support when you need it, and even when you don't know you do. Like when it comes to preventing underage drinking and other substance use. Community members can be your eyes and ears when you're not with your kids and alert you to signs of potential problems.
I drive 65,000 miles each year in my bus. If people knew what I know, lives could be saved. You don't want to be in the blind spot of a 40,000-pound bus when I have less than a second to react. I do what I can by changing lanes and taking turns slowly. It really helps when people look out for me too. Give me room to operate safely. It's our roads, it's our safety.
Welcome back. Hi, I'm Angela Zarro. You may have seen my name once, twice, maybe even 3 times in the credits. That's right, I basically run the show behind the scenes. I've decided I needed a little change from the control room, and it was time for my annual appearance at the desk. So, you guys are about halfway through your show, your last show. How do you feel?
Oh, not wonderful, Ange. I can't lie. I think me and Charlie have been talking all day about this pit we've had in our stomach. And just walking into the studio today was extremely weird and just, I don't know. It really hits you when you walk in and it's the final show.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I was so good writing the script. I was fine all day, and I got in the studio, and I was like, what is happening?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But, you know, I think we're doing all right.
Yeah.
Right?
So far, yeah.
We're
I
old
feel like
pros
we're
at this
fine
point.
At this,
Yeah. So can you tell me a little bit, like talk about your experience with LaSalle TV?
Oh, God. Do you want to go?
Yeah, I'll start. It's been really cool. I mean, it's something that, coming into college as like a sports media, like that's kind of what I wanted to do. This was kind of right up my alley, and it was something I was a little apprehensive to join at first. Like I don't think I joined until like almost the end of sophomore year. And I was like, this is something, kind of cool. Doing like watching sports talk. I was like, maybe I'll end up on the panel someday. Did I ever think I would end up here? Absolutely not. But it's been really fun. It's been a really cool experience. Pretty much exactly what I had hoped to do in college. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah, I feel like for me, I kind of didn't really picture myself here doing this. I always feel like I wanted to get back involved with TV, and obviously being a media and journalism track, it was something that I wanted to do, but Tanya really kind of dug her claws into me when I had her class. Mm-hmm. And so she kind of convinced me to come to a couple shows and just kind of see what it was like. But I never pictured myself up here producing a sports show, speaking as someone who like lightly followed sports, but never enough to fully talk about them for a full half an hour each week. I didn't really think that was possible. But being up here and kind of doing it for this long, it's something that I've grown to love so much. And even when I go on Sports Talk with Aiden and Shane, it brings me out of my comfort zone to a level that I feel like it's exciting, and I love it. So.
Mm-hmm. So now my next question is, what is your favorite memory or something that you're proud of for the show that you've done?
Oh God, you gotta go.
I mean, you can probably count them. However many Charlie cams I did were always fun. I apologize to all the fans at home that kind of went away this semester. I was a little busy, but that was really fun. One of the better ones was actually one that never made it on air because I didn't have enough room in my SD card. I hit record and did a whole session of yoga by myself, me and an instructor, nobody else in the room. And nobody ever got to see it. So I had the fun experience of doing yoga with someone, but unfortunately the viewers never got the pleasure of seeing that one.
I feel like for me, just coming on set here every single week, there's always a new memory. There's always like something that occurs, whether it's like us laughing like during a bumper, like a fly landing on Charlie while he's talking, or something occurring, messing up some sort of the script. In the moment, you're like, oh God, like I shouldn't have done that. Like that's embarrassing. But in all honesty, it's what makes, like, that's what I remember about this show. And then when you put in all the hard work, as I know you know, throughout the week, writing script, getting it in, like doing the stats, doing your homework, coming on set on Thursdays is when it's finally all worth it. Mm-hmm. And I feel like that's when I can just kind of take that deep breath and I'm like, wow, okay, I did all this work, it's paying off. And for that to happen week after week has just felt so rewarding that it just makes me like so proud to be in this spot every week. So.
Nice. And so, just one of my last questions, like, what advice do you have to new hosts, and what are you like going to take away from this experience?
I'll just say, like, just love it. Like, I mean, it's a lot at most of the time. Every week you're writing new scripts and you're trying to get people to do it, but it can be frustrating. But it's when you get to this point of the semester and it's your last show, you'll look back on it with a lot of fond memories and just try to have that mindset throughout the whole process. And even when it gets frustrating, understand that this is something that a lot of people don't get to experience. And it is something really cool and something you'll look back on probably for the rest of your life. And thanks to YouTube, you'll be able to watch those, with your kids or whatever. So it's cool. Be happy to.
Yeah, I would say never stop harassing athletics. If anything, email them, go down to Tom Gola, whoever's taking this over. I know Angie will be here. Just stalk, harass, bully, as Tanya would say. But also, like Charlie said, just enjoy it. Enjoy every moment of it, every silly moment on set, every slip up, every tiny little weird thing that occurs, every time you forgot to write script. It's a hassle, but it's something, again, that you're definitely going to miss when you're in our position right now. So,
well, thanks, guys, for a great year and all your hard work.
I think we would be doing a disservice if we didn't thank you
yes,
as well.
Thank
so,
you.
Thank
and
you.
When she said she keeps the show running, she really did keep the show running between her graphics, keeping me and Charlie on point. So thank you, Ange. And we're going to take a quick break, but when we come back, we have all of this week's upcoming games. Stay tuned.
Driving a truck for 40 years now. If people knew what I know, lives could be saved. Like that trucks can't stop quickly. It takes my 80,000-pound truck 200 yards to come to a complete stop. So I always do my best to give a lot of cushion. It helps when other drivers realize that and do the same. Please give trucks the space we need so we can all stay safe. It's our roads, it's our safety.
Dear University of...
Thank you for your offer
to become student ID number 283471.
While I appreciate your desire
for my impeccable academic record,
I must decline the opportunity
to get a generic degree.
I've decided to tell my story.
To be a student,
not a statistic.
I wish you good luck in the future
as I embark on mine.
Welcome back. We have a busy week of Explore Sports, so here's what you have to look forward to for the rest of the season. Men's and women's rowing will participate in the Dad Vale Regatta on the weekend of May 10th and the 11th. They will then close out their season at the IRA National Championships on the weekend of May 31st in West Windsor, New Jersey.
Track and field will participate in the A10 Outdoor Championships in Fairfield, Virginia this weekend. On Thursday, May 9th, they will travel to West Point to compete in the West Point Twilight. Then to close out their season, the team will travel to Lexington, Kentucky from May 22nd to May 25th to compete in the NCAA Outdoor Preliminaries. They will then move on to the NCAA Outdoor Championships in Eugene, Oregon from June 5th to the 8th.
All right, so we've dwindled down to 2 teams. Yeah. That's it. It's rowing and track and field.
Yeah, and 2 very successful teams, competitive teams. I'm sure they're looking forward to the end of their season. At this point, we have nothing more to talk about with them, so all we can do is wish them luck. But I hope they, are successful, get some wins in at the end of their season. That would be really cool.
Yeah, they've both been extremely impressive teams through the entirety of this season. They both have really come out on top. Rowing, they're both really prominent teams always, so I'm excited to see what they do for the rest of the season.
Yeah.
All right,
with
Charlie.
That being said,
it's goodbye time,
yeah.
Which I swear I'm not going to pull a Siobhan and I'm not going to cry. But, okay, when I first walked into this studio for Tanya's class, junior year, little did I know it would become my home. As a junior, both me and Charlie were a little late joining the LaSalle TV family, and God do I wish we had more time with all of you. Shortly after taking Tanya's class, I started coming to SportsLine shoots and ended up finding my place. Junior year was one of the most difficult times of my life, and through all of the turmoil and grief, I also had a safe haven in the studio. No matter what was going on, the second I walked through that door, it all seemed to just slip away. I'm so incredibly grateful that SportsLine was that place, and I simply don't think I could ever truly repay all of you for what you have given me. To Libby and Siobhan, thank you for taking in this junior who knew very little bit about sports and transforming her into the host you see today. You two have and will always continue to inspire me with your hard work and determination. Thank you so much for entrusting your show to these two idiots, and I hope we did you proud. The studio has grown me as a person and a professional, and for that I am eternally grateful. I'm simply not the person walking out of the studio today that I was walking in. The studio has shaped and molded me into a confident sports journalist, which I never thought was possible. To Ange, thank you for always putting the pressure on me and Charlie to make this show the best it could be. I want to sincerely apologize for the, I'm sure, numerous times we had you pulling your hair out. I'm so incredibly proud of you. You are one of the most kind-hearted, dedicated, and passionate human beings, and I can't wait to watch you take this show to the moon. Miss Riley Kopkov, I know you're sick, but I hope you're still watching this. Please remember to keep up with the witty teasers and weekly emails, to never stop harassing athletics, and to always get the script in by 6 p.m. on Wednesday. I could not be more proud of everything you've already accomplished, and I can't wait to cheer you on next year. To Tanya, I think this is what's gonna get me, so. My second mother, thank you for taking a chance on a girl who knew next to nothing about sports and making her the producer of a sports show. This show and you have changed my life. Thank you for always being in my corner and for loving me no matter what crazy text I send you at whatever ungodly hour it is. You've taught me so much, and I quite literally don't know what I'm gonna do without you next year. I promise to always stalk, harass, and bully. Finally, to the idiot sitting next to me, thank you to everyone's Boo Valentine for being the best co-host. I wouldn't wanna write teasers, throw paper balls, or get caught at the end of every show doing something stupid, or just straight cracking up every week with anybody else. You've kept this show interesting, and for sure, and I'm gonna miss being up here with you more than words describe. Oh my God, I start crying and I lose my train of thought. I've lost track of what you actually wanna do when you leave here, but whatever it is, I know you'll be phenomenal. And to my SportsLine lovelies, thank you for making Thursdays so incredibly special. They will never be the same. I love you all.
You guys suck. All right. You know, I thought this would be easy, so I got cocky and didn't write anything. But no, this has been one of, if not the best experiences I've had all of college. It's just something that, especially coming in, again, it's something I, maybe in the back of my head, had thought I wanted to do or could do, but never did I think it would be something like this. I mean, and so that's really what is cool about LaSalle TV, is you get the experience that most people don't. And it's something that you can walk in here and work on crew for a week or a semester or a month, and then all of a sudden you're moving up and you're hosting on a desk and talking about sports that you don't even watch or do anything. Like, it's something that, if you had told freshman Charlie this, I don't think he would believe you. But yeah, overall, it's been a great experience. The big thing I would like to say to anybody watching, if there's anybody that goes to LaSalle or is thinking about doing something like this at all, take the chance and do it. I was so apprehensive in doing everything. I don't really go out and do stuff like this, but this has been one of the better decisions I've ever made. It's kind of out of my ballpark. I don't know, not something I usually would go out and see myself doing. But if you're watching this and you have any interest in joining a club, it's not even just, it doesn't have to do with media or communication. You'll find friends here, and it's a group of people that are genuinely passionate and share a love for something, and I think that has a bond that's a lot deeper than anything else. If you can bond over something that you truly enjoy and find an interest in, you will make a lot of great memories and a lot of great people here. I have to thank Tanya again, like Megan. Hopefully this doesn't make me tear up either, but Tanya has meant a lot more to me than just the runner of LaSalle TV. She's been a mentor in every aspect of my college career with classes and just talking about things outside. She was my advisor for the biggest project I've ever done in my life. So that was really cool. Tanya, thank you for everything. I know you're back there. I'm not saying this to the camera. I'm saying this to you. Thank you for everything. And Megan, I have to wrap. You know how much I appreciate you. It's been so much fun. I also could not imagine anybody else up here. So.
Well, Tanya wants us to talk, so
to each other.
To each other.
Yes.
So but
yeah.
I think that both of us can agree that we just want to say thank you for everything. Thank you for letting us get up here. I talked a lot, so I feel like you
any crew that has ever helped, and you have done more than you could ever know, and I think she knows that. But this is clearly what you were born to do, and you have done a lot more. I don't think the show would have run without you back there. It's been, you have been on our butts for a long time, and I think you really kicked us into shape, and it's really what we needed. This is your show just as much as it's ours, if not more. And I don't think the viewers understand how much you play a part in this. I want to thank Riley as well, doing all the interviews that I unfortunately did not have the time to do, and neither did Megan. So stepping up and filling that role, and really as a freshman, I mean, taking on that responsibility. Again, neither of us did this freshman year. We barely did it sophomore year. To come in and do that your freshman year and have the confidence and the poise that you did, really cool. And absolutely, the show is in very, very good hands.
Yeah, and thanks to all of our little guest stars, Aiden with his dancing episode. I think that's something that none of us will ever forget. John Freeman, all the people that have filled in throughout the time here and have put in all the work to the show from the bottom of our hearts. Thank you. And that just about wraps it up for this week. If you can't make it out to see the Explorers play, oh my God, be sure to tune in next week for our coverage. Keep up with this weekend's other sporting events by visiting goexplorers.com.
Also check us out on Facebook at facebook.com/LaSalleTV and on Instagram at SportsLineLTV. We welcome you to send us your thoughts and suggestions there.
For the last time from our entire SportsLine team, I'm Meghan Cooney.
And I'm Charlie Hugg. As always, thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you at the game.